Okay, well, today in my video, I'm going to be talking about the topic that we discussed in class about robots. And I'll be going over the way that robots have benefited our society until now, and the way that robots have helped us, and the fear that people have of robots advancing in the future. So I'll be using our social issues book and the myth of individualism. So I'm going to start off by talking about the way robots have benefited our society until now. Here in the social issues book, it talks about two types of robots that you don't typically think would be a robot. For example, it talks about laundry machines and coffee makers. And it talks about how they have benefited our society. It says, consider the coffee maker. We place a special cup in the machine, hit a button, and the built-in computer handles the rest, leaving us a steaming hot cup of coffee with minimal human involvement in the brewing process. The device has become a mainstay in office break rooms, and coffee makers have sold millions of units around the world. Yet baristas haven't disappeared from the workforce. Despite the popularity of automatic coffee machines, Starbucks continues to increase in its earnings and expand to new locations, with about 1,500 new stores opening just last year. Like it states here, coffee makers have benefited our society as well as laundry machines. It says, perhaps no robots have had a greater effect on quality of life than the washing machine and the dishwasher. In the mid-20th century, when women no longer had to do laundry or wash dishes by hand, they suddenly had considerably more time for themselves. The devices saved hundreds of millions of hours of household labor per year. Some scholars argue that the laundry machine did more to increase female participation in the economy than any other change in the last century. So these are both two good examples of how we have been able to work alongside robots. Now, the biggest fear in the future is that as the technology of robots advance, that they will take all of our jobs away because they will be more capable of doing our jobs than a normal human being would be able to. So here in the social issue books, it states that fear that everybody has on robots. It says, every few years we experience a wave of concern over the rise of robots and its effect on jobs. Automation, we hear, will rid the economy of human labor, replacing the inefficient flesh and blood employed with amazingly powerful computers. Yet the robot takeover has so far not occurred. Human workers seem to be surviving and even thriving alongside all the machines. Well, this is Danny Crichton talking as of right now, but in 2045, like we discussed in class, that could be a whole different story. As of right now, we're working alongside with robots, but if the technology of robots continues to advance, they definitely could take away all of our jobs. And, going along with that, as we can see, there's been a huge increase in jobs that are being taken away just because of our capitalist society. Like here in the myth of individualism, it talks about how Eastman Kodak cut more than 20,000 jobs in 1997. Hewlett Packard laid off more than 25,000 jobs. Verizon eliminated 25,000 jobs. In 2003, IBM abolished 13,000 jobs. Bank of America cut 16,000 jobs. So there's a pattern we can see in our society of jobs being cut. And I think that as we advance in technology and advance in all these things, that jobs will continue to decline because there won't be a need to do it. Because we'll have robots that will be able to do it as well. Here in the myth of individualism, it talks about globalization. And it defines globalization in these words. It says, we can define globalization in neutral terms as the increasing cross-border flow of goods, services, money, people, information, culture, leading to greater economic and political independence. And I think that as the technology of robots advance, that there won't be a need for globalization, that we won't have to cross borders for goods or for services or for money for people. There won't be a need for that because there will be robots all over the world and they will do all the work. And there might be a need for UBI, like we discussed in class, United Income, and everybody will have to live off of that, just live off of the money that they get for a living. And that could be a serious problem. So I'm not a hater of the robots, but I do fear them a little bit because I would like to work in the future. So there's my video.